Entering the Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. This is the Monday Night Football picks, prop draft, futures, and a little bit of what we didn't touch on in the instant recap from Sunday night. Conner Allen, Ryan Noonan from Betsperts.com and 4for4.com on the line with me right now. Conner, I want to start with you, and I had to stop you from telling me the story before the show about a sports book, which did wrong by you.
Yeah, my mentions have been just a disaster for the last 12 hours because I bet some longest field goal unders and I parlayed them, I round robin them on Caesars. And so I took longest field goal under in all the weather games. So it was like the Packers game, the Packers Giants game, the Steelers Bengals game, and then there's two other ones as well. So I put it in all of those. Three of them won. One of them was voided, and it was the Packers Giants game. And so in that game, they voided it because there was no field goals attempted, is what they said to me. So I obviously DM support, and I was like, hey, if that's the rule, like that's fine. Just like, where is it? Because I looked in the house rules, it wasn't there. I looked in the bet slip where it just shows on DraftKings, which is there. It's not on Caesars. And then when you click the market, it doesn't say that either. And some books graded it as a win. So I'm like, well, how am I getting the short end of the stick here? Like, you got to at least say your rules. So some rep from Caesars actually called me and was like, hey, so here's the rules. Like, this is it. We void because there's no field goals attempted. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. But like, where is it? And he's like, well, we have the rules. And I'm like, okay, so I can't see them. He's like, yeah, we don't have all of them public. We have too many props to have them all public. And I was like, I don't agree with that. Respectfully, I disagree with that line of thinking. And he's like, well, it is what it is. And I was like, okay, well, I disagree with that. I'm gonna be posting this on Twitter. And so I post on Twitter, and now you get like half the people are agreeing with me, and then half the people are like these Vegas old heads that are like, well, you're just, trying to angle shoot, and like, of course it's common sense that if there's no field goal attempted, that the longest would be under. But the same principle doesn't apply for longest reception or any of the other longest markets. If the guy doesn't get a catch, the under wins. And some other books graded as a win. So, Pat, I need like the raw feedback here. What do you think of this whole thing?
If it's not post, I feel like that should be graded as a winner. Honestly,
it's not in the rules, at least for Illinois. Like I looked through the whole thing. I searched it for field goal. I read it multiple times. I've asked people. I'm like, genuinely, like, find it in the rules, and I just don't get it.
Noonan, I get the sentiment of what like they're saying about, yeah, it's void if nothing is attempted. But even to his point, like, I don't get my longest reception voided on an over if the guy doesn't have a catch.
If you bet first touchdown score and it's like a 6-3 field goal game, are they giving you back your first touchdown money? I don't think that they are. Right. And like, I just think the answer of like, we have it and we just simply can't share it with you because we have too many markets. It just can't be the answer. It just can't be the answer. I getting into like semantics of how it's worded versus other books, like first made field goal and first field goal made, and one is undefined. And like some of Connor's mentions are just like angle shooting isn't all that we do. Angle shooting, like, are we trying to shoot angles? Isn't that the whole premise? Otherwise, just go like we should all just go and pick red or black and like just save ourselves a shit ton of time and just do that. And then we could, have no issues with limits or anything like that. It's just some of the comments are wild. It's like a bunch of people that watch blackjack and cheer for the house. It's just wild to me that these people are like just berating Conner in his mentions. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand how we can just accept that these books can just be like, yeah, it's nowhere that you can see publicly. We have too many markets, and just trust us. This is just how we're going to handle this. It's bad. It's bad business.
It's not like I'm like, one, betting on inside information, or two, like trying to take advantage of the rules either. Like, oh, well, Caesars doesn't have it listed like this, so I should totally bet this. Like, I'm betting off of like a public weather report. Like, I'm like, I'm reading Kevin Roth's tweets, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, these are probably too high. This is a fun parlay that I can put together if the wind is like too long. And the Bucks and the Bills, they didn't attempt a 55-yard field goal because of the wind. They like decided to go for it. So what? I don't win because of that. That's crazy. It's I don't know, bizarre.
Yeah, and I feel bad because I tailed it on another book and I got paid. I cashed a 12-1 parlay because Connor posted it in our subscriber Discord in the morning. So like I won. I just happened to pick a different book. It's just weird.
Jared?
When you say voided, do you mean you got no money whatsoever, or that was like taken off the parlay and you still got paid out like like if you played a 4, you got paid out for 3, or do you mean like the bet was canceled completely?
Well, yeah. So it was 4 was paid out for 3, but the big deal was I round robined it all. So like it voided all those legs too and like pushed them all down. So like
Oh shit.
it wasn't right. So it wasn't just the parlay. It was like it all got kind of like pushed down. And so it was like multiples of money, which again, the money was not even like consequential. It's not like I'm, anywhere near like retiring off that or anything like that. But it was just like, it's the principle that I was like, I have just very little respect for anyone that tells me something in general that's like, this is the rules because I said so, and you can't know why. I just have no respect for that in general in life or anything. So when I get told that, it makes me mad. So I was like, I'm going to tweet about this, even if the money is inconsequential.
It has to be somewhere that we can link out to. If you can't know, DraftKings puts it right on the slip. You put it on, like if you were to have done this bet on DraftKings, you would have known going in that this was an option. Otherwise, from my point of view, this is one of the outs for the bet to win, was the option for these teams to just choose to not kick. So it's just really weird. You have to have it somewhere where there's a link in your terms and conditions that I can go and actually see it. The answer can't be, we have it internally. We have too many markets. We can't share it all. We can't even link out to the PDF. Just trust us. We have it. That's bad business.
Yeah, the rules are just trust me, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we got it.
It's
like the we're all trying to figure out the guy who did this, kind of like meme. Like, no, you guys, you have it. You if you have it, you have to share it. Like, just email the freaking guy the where it says it. Like, just garbage.
Dayton, can you do me a favor? Or maybe someone can comment. Someone in the comment section, Alexandre Constantino, is saying that the audio is all messed up and sounds like a robot. Can you? It sounds fine on my end. And I know it sounds fine for you guys coming through.
Yep.
But maybe there's something with the YouTube processing that's not coming through properly. Just take a look at that. We're going to keep going. If not, we'll cancel the live and just keep going, and we'll figure it out after the fact and repost it up there right now. There is one more story before the props that I did want to get into. Have you guys been following this Josina Anderson, Shedeur Sanders thing?
Why is she so like what's her vendetta against Shedeur? I don't. It's crazy.
So if people like aren't paying attention to it, like she's just the main tweet is, here he was against all odds, 3 of 10 completion by Shedeur Sanders under 2 minutes. She's just like, she's all in on Shedeur Sanders being like, well, what is like, I don't understand. The guy played horrible.
Which I think is fair to expect. Again, we've got some good insight from former backups and, day 3 draft picks and stuff like that. Like, you're not getting any reps with the ones. You're not getting any practice reps with the ones. You're not getting any reps with the ones in camp. And he was not even the backup quarterback, right? So for us to expect him to play better than that, I think is kind of unfair. They're again, like dunking on him for being awful. 416 is pretty damn bad. But I don't know what we should have expected, especially knowing that there's a reason he fell to day 3 to begin with.
Yeah,
carrying the water for him is weird.
Yeah, it's a carrying the water for like, no, he actually played great in this game. Like,
Right.
It's okay that he played badly. And you kind of saw why he was a 5th round pick. And he got, I mean, why would he get, that was a big thing too. Stefanski's like, no, he doesn't take reps with the ones. He hasn't all year long. It's like, yeah, because he opened up as QB5 on the depth chart. Like, he was behind Kenny Pickett at one point and Joe Flacco. Like, why would he be running with the starters whatsoever? But I don't know. The sacks that he takes are so bad. I've never seen, I really haven't, I can't recall an NFL quarterback who takes like 17-yard sacks.
He thinks that he's like, he thinks he's Patrick Mahomes, right? So it's just like this like inflated ego around him where he just like is like running around thinking that he can make plays that he's just like simply not athletic enough to make. And so it gets him in these like crazy sticky situations. Completed like basically none of his passes. And Josina's thing here was hilarious too. So she qualified one of the tweets with Shedeur Sanders quote or comma, with hardly any first team reps this season, comma, throws a pick. So she had to qualify the pick with like, but he didn't get reps. But he didn't get reps. Like that's that's why he threw the pick, not because he's bad.
Would they have just been better off the moment he entered the game, not passing once and punting and letting the defense try to win?
Honestly, probably.
Yeah.
Their defense was playing really well for a while, and then, I mean, he threw that one awful pick. I don't know what he was doing there. So it's rough. Like I'm looking overall, and she's just like caping up for him every single tweet. I wonder if Josina's best buds with Prime.
Maybe she's
I
on
feel
the
like
payroll.
big media. Yeah, and they're always like just kind of keeping those sources and those source windows open and trying to finagle those relationships. We see that all the time with, the big mainstream media, like kind of name dropping, whether it's their accountant or like, hey, I'm going to put in here's the guy that represents him. It's like, okay, like what are we doing here? We don't need that. Like we don't care about that information. It feels like there's a little bit here of if she's getting some sourcing somehow and wants to keep that relationship, on the up and up.
I have my recap for the week with a cheat sheet of injuries, play-by-play, running back touches. That's all up for free on 4for4.com right now if you want to check it out. Although an update to that in real time. Michael Penix, his knee injury could be potentially season ending. They'll seek a second opinion. The Falcons weren't good anyway. This kind of makes them worse.
It was a tough week for quarterbacks, just kind of across the league, all over the place. But yeah, Penix has been bad. They're obviously going to be worse with Kirk. We've seen enough of Kirk in this iteration. This version of him, it's a tough scene. Defense was bad too. They sold out to stop the run, but I clipped it this morning as I was rewatching a little bit of that. Like game on the line, for like third and goal from the 12-yard line, and you put your middle linebacker one-on-one man coverage against Ted McMillan, who'd been crushing. Like, that's coaching. It's bad scene in Atlanta.
Connor, Dart looks like he's still in concussion protocol as well.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, we knew what we were going to get from Jameis. I mean, it's like I think there's a tougher matchup. So like if you give him like a cupcake matchup, in the future, like I think it could be fine. But you knew it wasn't going to be pretty in the wind against the Packers, like good defense. So, and they also did talk about how Dart needs to stop like running as aggressively as he is, which I mean, completely makes sense. So I wonder if they dial down like his designed runs and just start, I don't know, letting him scramble and making him get out of bounds. It's kind of, I think that kind of nerfs some of like their fun upside as well as a team, to be honest.
The last thing is I don't think Stroud's going to play on Thursday night in this Bills game. He's still in protocol.
That's tough. 3-week concussion. Like you don't like to see that ever.
That's like a 2.5 week concussion, really, though, because they have this condensed game. Maybe he does end up coming back, but he's not out of protocol yet.
I mean, that's a tough turnaround. He has to get out by Tuesday, technically, I think, or to be eligible, maybe Wednesday, I guess, because you need a practice before you can actually play as well. So you can't just get out of protocol on Thursday morning and just like hop in there. You got to be out in time for a practice, I believe.
And they ruled him out pretty quick.
Yeah,
this past week too.
Let's jump to Monday Night Football. That's what we're here to talk about. We're going to be doing our prop draft in a second, but I first want to go over the game just a little bit. The Cowboys on the road at the Raiders. They're now 3.5-point favorites after opening at 3 at coolbet.com right now, which you can use in Canada, outside of Ontario. I don't know. I haven't read their terms and conditions about the field goal props, but I'm sure it's listed up there. I'll talk to them about that if they don't have that up there, Connor. If you somehow drive to Manitoba and want to bet or something like that. Although they gave me the PME Boost Parlay, 3-player props. I'll come through, pay a quick plus 615. So a winner on that front from the PME Boosted Parlay this week. But I like the Cowboys minus 3.5. But what I'm curious about in this game, Noonan, and I think you're the best to speak on defense of anyone here, that they're getting guys back on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think that they're going to be like a historically bad defense tonight.
I think it's going to help. I'm interested to see what they do at the linebacker. Based on what I'm reading and what the beats locally are saying, is they're actually going to keep our guy Kenneth Murray, who got home for us last game too. Bonus bet for the people under on Kenneth Murray. They're going to keep Kenneth Murray on the field, and they're going to rotate a little bit with Logan Wilson, which again, let's remember for context, Logan Wilson got benched in Cincinnati. Right, so that's what's coming in. And then DeMarvion Overshown, who was really, really good for them last year. They use him off the edge a little bit too, like in blitz packages. It hasn't really been much that Eberflus does compared to last year's group, but interesting to see the kind of what they're doing in linebacker. Then obviously some of the trades, Quentin Williams up front, some of the younger edge rushers are kind of playing a little bit better. They're getting some, I think they're going to have both starting safeties back this week. So they're definitely going to be better than they've been the last few weeks for sure. I'm just worried about the emotional piece of this game with obviously this is the first time they're playing since Marshawn Nealon's death. It could be an emotionally charged game. It can go one of two ways, right? They could actually just be like overwhelmed with all that's happened there over the last couple of weeks, or it could be a situation where like it's just, you have kind of this galvanizing, let's do it for him kind of scenario, and it makes it a little bit tricky to handicap.
When it comes down to like the emotional element of things that we just cannot contextualize, Connor, I just choose not to think about it because we can't cap it either way. It's a completely unknown variable.
Yeah, same, right. It's like either they rally around it or it's just like really tough to play because they're still a little bit shook, which I think fully understandable either way. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's in the back of my mind, but it wasn't something that I was really thinking about too much here. So I was just kind of like, I think in the same spot of you, they obviously acquired Quentin Williams as well, who I think makes a massive, massive difference on their run defense. So like that, in my opinion, is a massive addition for them, and could help. I mean, if you force the Raiders to be one-dimensional, it hasn't been pretty so far.
No, they do love running up the middle for no yards, Noonan. That's their favorite play.
Offensive line still beat up too. Obviously, their centers out now, along with Colton Miller. So, yeah, I would lean Dallas. I think you're right. I mean, obviously, we can't model it. You can't understand what the impact is going to be. So your best bet is to kind of pretend it's not there. It just makes me have no interest in the side. But it would be Dallas or nothing for me. I'm not really interested in the iteration of Raiders that we have, especially when we get to the prop market. When I'm seeing some of the guys that are heavily involved for them, it's kind of a tough scene.
One thing to look at the snap shares from the Dallas receiving core since CeeDee Lamb has come back. We go back to week 9. CeeDee's playing, he and Pickens are playing right around 90% of the snaps, but it's now been Flournoy that has jumped up. Turpin's gone way down since like sort of the emergence of Flournoy and the return of CeeDee Lamb. So it's basically like Turpin and Tolbert, Connor, splitting snaps as wide receiver 4. Like they're just not on the field at all. Do you think that changes? Because if not, like Turpin unders start to look good.
Yeah, I think Turpin unders are solid. He's going to have like one or two ish like designed, like, or maybe one play, like kind of gadget play for him. But yeah, Flournoy 64% of the routes last week after 31% the week prior. Like as you mentioned, they're basically just flipping right now. And Tolbert has seen his route share basically decline all season, now down to 8.3% last week. I mean, the guy is just really bad, and they don't need him. So it makes sense that he's on the bench. I think Flournoy or Turpin provide a little bit more juice there. So yeah, Turpin unders. I don't know if I've seen a number on Flournoy. I don't know if you've seen one, but I think that's maybe an interesting angle.
The one thing that I don't know, because it's a 1 week drop off for Turpin. Like he's usually right around between like 30 and 50% of the snaps. Now, again, CeeDee Lamb was injured for some of that time, so maybe that's influencing it. I know that it's influencing it, but are we going to bank that Flournoy is going to see exactly the same amount of, or right around, like within the margin of error, that he is very clearly the receiver 3 and Turpin has been pushed to the side? Or do you think that could just flip on Monday Night Football?
I think you'd easily flip, right, and be like very matchup specific. But I think it depends what they post his number at. Like, I mean, if we get like a 10, like I'll play 10 and find out, like I think that's worth it, because even the week prior, it was 31% for Flournoy, 45% for Turpin. Even in that range, I mean, you can get 10 yards, you know what I mean? It's not bad. It maybe makes the Turpin under a little bit scarier. But yeah, I think that some Flournoy numbers and alts, which will probably get, I don't know, closer to game time. I think it'd be interesting.
All right. And any other angles that you're looking at here? Because I'm looking at the Vegas receiving. Trey Tucker's always on the field. Then it's Dante Thornton Jr. At least is what we saw in the first game post Jacoby Myers. Jack Beck was not where it's at. He was only like 23%. Then you had Lockett playing right around 60. Lockett seems to be the safest of any of these guys, at least in the reception market.
It's crazy that we got here. Just like thrown in there, veteran comes in and is like leads the team in targets, like right off the bat here. But yeah, I think he's going to see a lot of work here. And yeah, Jack Bash ran like 8 routes, I think, last week. So you can forget about him. It's kind of an interesting angle, though, is the coaching staff talked up Brock Bowers, saying like Chip Kelly was like, we need to get him the ball like as much as possible early in the game. Some first quarter props are available on FanDuel. Bowers is like, you can bet like 30 plus yards at like plus 400. You can get 13.5 as his over under for first quarter receiving yards. I mean, if he sees like 2 targets, maybe even a long one, I think that looks pretty good here, especially if they try and like make a concentrated effort to get him the ball here.
I can see it. Well, we're going to break down our records from a week ago, the overall season records, and check in and do our 2-round Monday Night Football player prop draft right after this. Somewhat surprisingly, I actually take tailgating very seriously. Grill fired up, cooler packed, and yeah, I'm the guy everyone counts on for the food. Whether that's my home barbecues, birthdays, tailgating, doesn't matter what it is, Pat Mayo is always relied upon for bringing the food. That's why I go with Omaha Steaks, the official sponsor of tailgating. They've been America's original butcher for over a century, and everything they send is top-notch, perfectly aged steaks, juicy burgers, those thick, deli-style franks, all delivered directly to your door. I tossed the ribeyes on the grill last weekend. Crazy tender, amazing flavor, and you can taste the quality. There's no off-season for flavor here. Make your next game day delicious with Omaha Steaks. Just head to omahasteaks.com and use promo code MAYO at checkout for $35 off your order. That's omahasteaks.com. Promo code MAYO. Terms apply. See site for details. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Holidays, they're here, which means it's officially gift-giving season. Nothing says, I appreciate you, quite like the gift of smoothness of your balls. Whether you're shopping for your partner, your brother, or honestly, yourself, the Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate upgrade. This thing is a full grooming arsenal. You get the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra Trimmer. Super precise, very reliable, and great for keeping everything neat before those holiday parties or date nights or random people that you haven't seen in 15 years that you meet at a bar when you go home at Christmas time. You want to be trimmed, all right? Plus, the Weed Whacker 3.0 for nose, ear, and eyebrow cleanup so you're not showing up with rogue hairs trying to ruin your family photos is a must. Give the gift of smooth this holiday season with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Get 15% off your entire order with code PATMAYO at manscaped.com. That's 15% off with code PATMAYO at manscaped.com. Stay on top of your grooming game and be ready for anything the season throws your way. Now that I'm old, I've had to come to the fact that I just don't bounce back the way that I used to. I don't wake up in the morning feeling normal. And now that football season has started, that is absolutely unacceptable. I got work to do in the morning, and I got kids that are waking up. It's no good. But that isn't a problem anymore because I found ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol. The ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic, invented by PhD scientists to tackle the rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for the rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol the first drink of your night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel the best tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/PatMayo to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use PatMayo at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund you your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/PatMayo and use the code PatMayo at checkout for 15% off. Let's return to last week, fellas. You guys were both 2-0, so congratulations on that front. I was 1-1. The computer was 1-1, so I'm 8-5 for the year on these Monday Night Football props. The computer is 6-6. Noonan is 6-6 with a push. Noonan is 10-3 after his 2-0, and Connor, you battled back to 500. You're 5-5, so congratulations on that front.
I'm hyped. I'm back. Another 2-0 weekend coming.
You think so? Let's start with you then. Hit us.
Yep. I got to keep sticking with the unders here. I'm going to go with Ashton Genty under 66.5 rushing yards. Fading Ashton Genty's been great. We already talked about it a little bit, but they got 2 offensive linemen missing for the Raiders. They love to jam it up the middle for no yards, but they've also gone away from the run at times this year already. And so I think that that's a possibility here when you get the Cowboys, who've been a very, very bad defense top to bottom, but getting a ton of players back, adding Quinn Williams. With the Jets, they were actually a pretty good run defense, even though they didn't have a ton of other bodies outside of him. Without him, they were not as good with him off the field. So I think that we're going to see maybe not like, I mean, they're not going to be an elite defense or anything, all of a sudden, but they're going to be, I think, competent in the running game. And I think they also offensively have enough firepower to kind of put the Raiders on their heels a little bit, force them to throw a little bit more. And instead of just jamming the run 20 times. So 66.5 yards is pretty widely available. I like the under there.
Yeah, if you go to 4for4.com/Mayo right now, use code Mayo50, you can get yourself a free 7-day trial of the Sharp Stack app, and then it is 50% off after that. So I would highly recommend you do that for the monthly plan over at Sharp Stack. I'm trying to find the best lines, and right now the 66.5 under rushing for Genty is at FanDuel right now. If you're looking for it, Noonan, will go with the guy that I just mentioned, Tyler Lockett. I was tempted to take the over 3.5 receptions, which is juiced up pretty highly, like plus 140 right now. I'm just going to go with the receiving yards, 26.5 receiving yards for Tyler Lockett. If they got to get the ball out quickly because they can't block and guys are coming at them, Gino's just more comfortable, honestly, with Lockett than anyone else on this team outside of Brock Bowers.
I was going to play that as well. I think it's a painfully, it's Tyler Lockett. It feels like a bad click. Like you said, juiced at the reception number is like 2.5 is super juiced. You have 3.5, up to like plus 130 or so, which I just don't think is that bad of a look. You have to just divorce yourself of the thought that it's Tyler Lockett. Yards are tricky because this guy has been fighting for like the last 5 years to avoid contact in any way, shape, or form. Catch the ball, dive down, avoid it. But again, getting absolutely peppered with targets. Like caught 5 of 6 balls last time out. He's running like 85% of the routes. Again, the familiarity there. So I think it's a really, really good look.
So where do you think that you want to go with yours then?
That was one of my two. And again, I'm 10-3. I got to let you go first. I got to let you take that low hanging fruit. So you know what? I'll take the Bowers number, whatever it is. It's Connor sold me on it. I think the first quarter angle is nice. I think he's going to be heavily involved. I like the Cowboys in this game. It really feels like it's just kind of Bowers and Lockett. So whatever the Bowers number is, I'll take the yards over and we'll go for there.
Well, let's try to find out. Let's bring up Sharp Stack right now and find just the receiving yards. You want receiving yards or receptions?
I'll go receiving yards because this is after the catchability and the Cowboys tackling has been so bad.
To keep this to under minus 120, the best number on the market in terms of just raw number is 71.5. That's at Bookmaker right now, but that's at minus 125. So that one doesn't count. What's the next best number that we can get you? It's in real time. It just dropped to over 69.5 minus 160, which is also out of the parameters. 73.5 minus 118 is the best number we can get for you right now, Noonan.
Let's go 74 yards. I probably won't bet that. I would actually bet the alts and chase it up. Like if, to Connor's point, like I could see a ceiling game, when it's past the Conner Allen threshold of bettable binary yes, no props. You just, at that point, you chase the overs, and I agree with that look.
Yeah, Pat, are you familiar with my threshold here? I don't bet anything above the high 60s, overs on anyone above the high 60s.
69.5 is the cutoff. At that point, you chase alts only. And I get it. It's not a bad look.
Is it successful, Connor?
Oh, I just don't bet that many overs. So I don't know. I mean, it's like, I'll bet maybe one or two, but yeah, instead of going over 75, I'll just go, I don't know, 90 or 100 for plus money instead. There's not really much science behind it outside of just, if they're going to hit, I think they're going to hit big time. Rarely get middled there. It's usually more like just bigger payouts on the upside, but not super scientific.
Well, we are going to go with Sharp Stack, and the top rated plus EV play for Monday Night Football is actually Cavante Turpin over 1.5 catches because it has been juiced at Bet Rivers up to plus 120 on that front. If you try to take the over in some other spots like Caesar, your buddy Caesars, Connor, minus 107. Novig has minus 110. Minus 112 on FanDuel. You're getting 40 or 32 cents of value if you have Bet Rivers on this over.
Connor, you can bet it on Caesars. You still got all your money in the account. They won't let you take it out.
Yeah, that's the other layers. I tried to withdraw and they rejected me yesterday. So yeah, I got plenty of money in there. May as well make it worth it, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, just pound them on Turpin overs. That's the move. The next best play, this one is terrifying. Although this is probably in the wheelhouse of you, Connor. The computer is spitting out CeeDee Lamb under 90.5 receiving yards at -115 as the second best play on the slate.
I mean, see, I always try and find reasons of like, even one reason is enough to find like an under on some of these guys where the number is so high. I got nothing. I got nothing on CD. It's probably just going to be about more of, do the Cowboys get up enough without CD that they don't have to throw and like maybe ends at like 80 or 82 or something like that? Or I don't know. Like you're basically just betting on, in my opinion, variance. But yeah, you're getting a good number, 90.5. Like, I mean, markets as low as 85.5, -125 at Pinnacle towards the under. So pretty good look, I think.
So that's where the computer is going to go. Noonan, because you got to pick last of the three of us in the first round, you can go in the second round.
Going to swim in a pool that I don't think either of you are looking at today. We'll go Devin White, Raiders linebacker, over 8.5 tackles and assists. Devin White's having a great bounce back year. Kind of still young. He's only 27, but he's had a couple of really weird years, some off-season, off the field stuff, and been playing really good ball this year. And it's actually the only two linebackers or two players in the league that rate out in the top 15 in both tackle rate versus the run and tackle rate versus the pass. And actually his tackle rate versus the pass is even higher. So even if this is a pass heavy game, a like advantageous Raiders game script, his tackle rate's been pretty high. So again, part of it is, they're not really a great run stopping team up front. They allow a lot of receptions over the middle. So over 8.5, I've seen a couple of books pop at that this morning. I think it's a really good number.
So 8.5, we can throw that on. I'll see if that's on Underdog as well. I'll probably tweet out an Underdog play a little bit later on. Maybe I can get Coolbet to boot. Listen, I'm coming off a win, so I need to try to go for 2 days in a row of boosted player prop parlay wins. The thing that I am looking at here is a number that's been cleared 1, 2. That's the opening night. He hasn't cleared it in 2 games. That's somewhat terrifying here, but we're going to go with it anyway because Bo Nix could have completed 80,000 50-yard passes against the Raiders last time around and just didn't. Connor, I'm going to take George Pickens over 23.5 longest reception against the secondary.
No, that is exactly what I had. That is like to a T exactly what I had.
We both got cucked by Pat this week.
This is crazy. I mean, yeah, I love it. It's like, I mean, this Raiders defense has been just, a sieve in most facets here. Now you have Pickens, Raiders allowing a 53% completion rate to wide receivers on throws, 10 or more yards downfield, it's 25th. And then Raiders allowing 9.3 yards per target to outside receivers. You know that Pickens plays like entirely on the outside here. So all it takes is one. The 23.5 is a real good look.
All right. So you have the last pick of this draft.
Can I take? Well, I guess there's something just popped up on Sharp Stack. How does it widely available? Does it have to be here? Or can I do a FanDuel only? I guess no, it has to be within -120. Okay, so I'm gonna go with
-120 counts if you want to take a -120. You can do that.
No, it's past that. It's past that.
Was it the Michael Mayer receptions?
Yes, it is. Mayer under 3.5 receptions at -140 is something that just popped, and I'm going to bet anyway myself personally, but doesn't count for this. I'll go with the Bauer. Can I do Bauer's 13.5 receiving yards first quarter? I know you already did full game. Can I do first quarter here? It's at FanDuel right now. I think it's -110, so normal odds there. And I will play alts as well. So I think it's kind of a good look. Chip Kelly did mention as well, on top of what I already said, basically saying that they had a bunch of plays designed for him last week. He only had 1 catch for 30 yards, I believe. But on those plays, like Gino got sacked or something like that, or like he got doubled, it was like all the plays that were designed for him ended up not coming to fruition. But I think they're going to even make a more concerted effort this week early in the game. So I'll take over 13.5 in the first quarter.
I can't. You love mixing in these overs now. Who are you?
I know, and then that's how I get back to losing. Is like early in the season, I was like mixing in some overs, and I was losing. I go 2-0 on 2 unders last week, and now. Well, no, they're going to win this week. I'm bringing some good juju in this. I'm not going to say that I'm going to go 1-1. It's all hidden, Pat. It's all.
Okay, let's recap the props for Monday Night Football. We got, for me, Lockett, Moore, and over 26.5 receiving yards. George Pickens higher than 23.5 longest reception. Ryan, you have Bowers over 73.5 receiving yards for the game. And it was Devin White?
Yep.
Over 8.5 tackles and assists. Connor, you have Genty under 66.5 rushing yards. Bauer more than 13.5 first quarter receiving yards. And the computer has spit out Kevontae Turpin over 1.5 catches at plus 120. And then CeeDee Lamb under 90.5 receiving yards at minus 115. That Lamb one is probably the highest percentage winner on this. I would never bet that.
Same.
Just too terrifying for me. Did you guys look up any futures for this week, or you going to keep riding with, what's this? Drake London suffered a PCL sprain and is out this week. So Penix and London out this week against the Saints.
And Mooney's still just like, I don't know, dead, half alive. So, I mean, who's even going to be out there then for them? Is it finally Kyle Pitts season? Is this time? 6 years of waiting?
West Virginia legend David Sills.
Sills V. That's the guy.
guy.
I think Casey Washington's another one of like the random losers that they have out there.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's still, you take Olave away, they still probably have like the next best 5 receivers in the game.
Just give Bijan the ball every time, or Bijan. I don't know what we're doing, but just give that guy the ball.
Saints run defense, I wouldn't say like really good, but pretty good.
Yeah, it is. But I just throw to him.
Yeah, there's your play right there. Bijan over receptions. Although Kurt doesn't check down as much as Penix does. He still thinks he's Kirk Cousins and like, oh yeah, there's a guy 40 yards down the field. I'll hit him to the other team.
Yeah. I have to look at that. We have a small sample the last couple of years, but yeah, the hubris of thinking you're still the guy and pushing the deep downfield doesn't work all the time.
The MO of this show, we got from Shedeur to Kirk Cousins.
Same guy. The Spider-Man pointing meme.
Very similar.
It's funny. I want Shedeur to be really, really good because I think it would be hilarious if he was just awesome, but that was not a great debut.
I will say on one of his 3 completions, he made a throw that I was like, you know what? Dylan Gabriel can't make that throw. That's good.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because we said the same thing in the room because we saw Gabriel try to throw these out routes and he has 2 arms. It's not good.
Yeah.
Like he's just like short arming these 15-yard outs. And Sanders just is so much bigger. He's just like throwing downhill. I was like, all right, good pass. If that's all you can do, that's not great.
Yeah, and he's got just nothing going on upstairs. Just like the mentality, quarterback mentality is not quite there outside of like thinking that he's way better than he is. So we'll see. I mean, I want to say it would be more fun to watch Shedeur Sanders. And I don't know if you were listening to the game, by the way, live. The fans were hyped. They were so ecstatic that he was in the game. Like every single time he threw a pass, there was like a super loud cheer and like they were all excited. Maybe they won't have that same energy this week after watching him play for an extended period of time, but I want to see him get more playtime. I mean, we know Dylan Gabriel is just not very good, and we think Shedeur is probably not very good, and I would say almost certainly isn't, but it'll be fun to watch him go like, I don't know, 12 for 35 and throw 2 picks and, maybe make like 2 good throws. It'll be fun.
The time to throw stuff, the hero ball, taking sacks stuff, that stuff is so hard to break. We're seeing a little bit with Caleb in Chicago. Like he's getting better at rescuing himself, but he still can't get to the spot where he's 1, 2, 3 in his head and get rid of the football. Because if you're holding the ball past 2.5, 3 seconds, it's really hard. Like they're coming for you, and he can't do it. And it's going to be really hard when you don't have the athleticism of the Mahomes, of Caleb. And Caleb had a couple of plays yesterday that were just insane. He didn't make those last year. He was taking those sacks. So that's going to be a real uphill battle, in Shedeur's development here over the next year plus, or even if he gets the opportunity to break these habits.
They should
7-3 Bears to you, Noonan.
Are you feeling good about the 7-3 Bears, Connor?
No, not at all. They're so bad. But they're winning games, and I don't really know how. They get another winnable game against the Steelers. So I mean, yeah, if they keep winning, they're not going to win a lot of their divisional games. So like the juju and vibes of this team is going to be really bad, I think, heading into the playoffs, which seems like they might actually make the playoffs if they keep winning these close games. But I mean, right now, This is great. This is like the best that Bears fans could feel like in, I don't even know. I mean, 2018 was good when, MVP Mitch Trubisky was playing great. And then obviously like 2006 with the Bears defense was elite, but the offense was just like awful to watch too. So I don't know. It's been a rough couple decades, I would say.
The Browns defense at home, Noonan, has been immaculate. Like, they are impossible to move the ball on. They sack everyone and just generate turnover after turnover. They played some good teams at home and covered the spread every single time. They beat the Packers outright in that game earlier this season too, in week 3. So if it was me and I was the Browns and I was like actually trying to win games, which I'm not sure that they are, I would start Gabriel in these home games, because if there's one thing Gabriel doesn't do is take 20-yard sacks. He gets sacked like right around the line of scrimmage. He gets the ball out quickly and he doesn't turn it over. Like that, those are games your defense can win for you. On the road, different story.
Yeah, they were actually missing 2 of their defensive linemen in that game as well. They have a fantastic front 7. Denzel Ward is one of the best coverage corners in the league. Yeah, they're legit. I mean, like, that's one of the things I want to talk about too, is I think we can probably be done speculating on some of the deeper down the board defensive player of the year shots, because we haven't had a defensive player of the year winner on a losing team since Jason Taylor back in 2006. I mean, Myles Garrett is the best defensive player every year. So it's one of those scenarios where like you have to find ways to not give him the award, but like, dude, it's just, there were a couple of sacks where he literally just shoved a huge ass grown man with one arm to the ground on his way to the quarterback. He is unbelievable. And I thought it would maybe be a little harder for them, because I thought, or for him, because without some of those other guys, I thought they would be able to like double and triple and chip him all day. It just doesn't matter. He is unbelievable. So yeah, I like your angle here. It's a great defense. Just kind of manage that. See if you can win some 12-9 games, because the defense is that good.
Yeah, Myles Garrett's minus 150 to win Defensive Player of the Year now, Connor.
Crazy.
But if that holds, and like, if they don't give it to players on losing teams, like who's the Aiden Hutchinson becomes at plus 750, becomes like the favorite. If you get rid of, I guess Parsons is plus 350. He would be the one. For some reason, I had Dallas in my mind still, but he's obviously not on Dallas. So would Parsons really win Defensive Player of the Year, do you think? That's
the thing. Some of his underlying metrics are really good coming into the week. Like if you look at PFF grade and pass rush win rate, he was very much up there. Just doesn't have the counting stats. And I do think it is a counting stats award to a degree. But yeah, it would probably be Hutchinson. I think you could make some speculative cases on maybe like a Byron Young with the Rams. Jared Verse is kind of in that mix too. You could have made a case for a couple of Seattle guys if they would have won that game. But yeah, you get into kind of Hutchinson, Parsons. But at this point, you're having a couple of these like 4-sack games, and you were just this dominant force, and you are the general consensus best defensive player to begin with. He's making a pretty strong case. That's a crazy number. I would never bet that. I think it was like plus 180 heading into the weekends, which I also thought was pretty wild. But then he goes out and hangs another 4-sack game. It's crazy.
Well, what's the number you have on Singer, whoever the hell his name is?
I got Carson Schlesinger 60-1, defensive rookie of the year. Just goes out and bangs another 10 tackle game, gets an interception. Like we're cruising. Part of it is there's no competition, right? There's Jahad Campbell with the Eagles. You can make a case for him because he's part of a really good defensive unit. He's now a 40%, 50% snap player. Doesn't really have any counting stats to begin with. Abdul Carter, that's a losing team as well, but he also doesn't have any counting stats. He has a half a sack, not getting a ton of tackles either. He's not really doing anything. Nick Emawori has made a nice little run here since he missed a couple of games early in the season, but kind of had a dud last week, and I don't know, just hasn't done enough. And Carson Schlesinger has been a part of a great defense, has the counting stats. The interception helped quite a bit. So is that posted? I haven't seen what the new numbers is.
Yeah, it's minus 200.
Oh, baby, let's go. Yeah, 60-1. So feeling good about that.
Good luck. Pray, as Feinberg would say, health and safety is what you want from him, right?
Well, that was the thing. So I touched on this with Connor. He got all the way down to like 3-1 and then got hurt in the Patriots game with a high ankle sprain. We thought looked like he was going to miss, 2 to 3 weeks, because that's kind of what high ankle sprains do. And then it was their bye week. And then last week or 2 weeks ago in the Jets game, he practiced on Friday. I'm like, is he going to play? And he went out and had 10 tackles in the game against the Jets. So he went quickly back from, closer to like 8-12 in some spots, all the way back down to like 3-1. And now has another great game. So yeah, feeling good. Stay healthy, Carson.
Connor, the MVP market's become now a 4-player race. Guys got their odds brutally shifted. Darnold went from 6-1 to 50-1 in a week.
I mean, we saw Cupcake Darnold just come out again. It was one of those things where, I mean, do you see him do the jump pass? Like he did the jump pass for an interception.
It was a jump pick, like directly into the guy's hands.
Literally. I was like, dude, what are we doing here, Darnold? And it looked so bad. It's really tough because he plays so well sometimes and so efficient. And then he just sees ghosts and just turns into nothing. And like, he was like awful. So yeah, I would say at this point, barring like, I don't know, winning out and just absolutely dominating and making people forget about this game, it's kind of tough to shake that stake. But now we're looking at Stafford plus 150 after that win, which he didn't, I don't think he really played particularly well either, but what do you think?
This is what I thought was really strange, that May opened as the favorite of the week with Stafford behind him, and then Stafford leaps Drake May. Is that just like these markets, Connor or Noonan, are so based on recency bias that just the fact that Drake May didn't play on Sunday, he played on Thursday, got him leapt over here?
1,000%. We always remember the last thing we saw. Part of it was a significantly bigger win, especially for the team. And the argument that I made with those two specifically was we have a 37-year-old Matthew Stafford, really solid career. Has never been an all-pro, does have a Super Bowl win, obviously. Defense was great. So you're going to come down to 23-year-old Drake May and 37-year-old Matthew Stafford. At the end of the day, it is such a narrative-based award, right? These are just voters, they're writers. I think you're going to get kind of like a career achievement lean for most people to break ties. And again, I think they both are the deserved favorites. I think it's going to be tough for Josh Allen. Again, if he continues to hang like video game numbers like he did this past week, he'll get in the mix again. But it's going to be hard to make the case for him against Drake May if the Patriots win the division, are the number 1 seed in the AFC. And I get this Stafford sentiment there too. And again, that's why it's a narrative-based award. All of these are.
If someone was going to catch them, the two closest ones right now, or that are still like in the single digits in terms of odds, Allen goes back up to 5-1. Jonathan Taylor's at 6.5-1. It's not going to be Jonathan Taylor. I hate to burst everyone's bubble here.
It's not going to be Jonathan Taylor. It's wild to me that people still are okay, like kind of like diving into that market and chasing that a little bit. It's not. He's like minus 400 or whatever to be the offensive player of the year. It's just kind of how we are. It's just kind of how it is. It's a quarterback award. Think about the year that Barkley had last year. I mean, JT's putting up similar numbers, but they were the number 1 seed. I don't think you're going to see like the Colts necessarily be the number 1 seed and have like some team aspect of it too. It's a great year. He's going to be the offensive player of the year probably, but he's not going to be the MVP.
If the Bills come back and win that division, is Josh Allen just... I think I'm with you that if the Rams win the division and the Rams get the 1 seed, or even if they're not the 1 seed, they just win that division, it's like a career achievement award for Matt Stafford. That makes a ton of sense to me, especially with Allen having won last year. But if the Bills, Connor, come back and win that division, is Allen going to win MVP?
Yeah, I think so. And you talked about like the recency bias. Like we're still, I mean, what is it, week 12 now next week? Like we still have 6 weeks left, 6-7 weeks left. We're at a point where people could easily forget. Remember Baker Mayfield was like second in MVP odds or third in MVP odds when we talked about this a couple of months ago. So yeah, I think there's still plenty of time for things to shift. Josh Allen, and then if you want to go way down and think that things change here, not way down, but like I think Chiefs stuff and Mahomes stuff is a little bit low. Like Chiefs Super Bowl is like 10-1 for, I don't know, the first time I can remember maybe ever. Like it's like since Mahomes took over. And so 10-1 in the Chiefs Super Bowl, and then Mahomes 16-1. I mean, probably have to win out again, similar stuff. I'd have to like go crazy, but I don't know. It's possible, I think.
Would you rather play let's say I'm looking on Underdog right now for those props that we talked about. Would you rather play the one that you hit with Bowers, 13.5 first quarter receiving yards, or higher than 1.5 receptions in the first quarter at like plus 110?
Probably receptions. I'm going to play both. I didn't know that was even an option, so I'm going to play both, but probably receptions. I mean, I think he sees 2-3 targets probably just like on the first drive. I wouldn't even be surprised as long as they can sustain a drive and don't get like, I mean, the only risk with these first quarter props is that they kick, have a short drive, and Dallas just like eats clock. I mean, that's like the downside, but I think receptions at plus 110 is pretty nice.
Yeah, they have a 40% boost in the lobby at Underdog right now. So code Mayo, get yourself the deposit bonus. Devin White higher than 8.5 tackles. Pickens higher than 23.5 longest reception. And Bowers higher than 1.5 first quarter receptions. With that, pays 10.5 to 1. So I'd do that.
Dallas is playing zone at such a high rate, right? So like if you have this mandate that you're going to jam targets to your tight end or any receiver, like if a team schematically is playing man coverage, they can make that harder for you. You're going to find ways to win over the course of the game. But if it's just like, hey, it's against zone coverage, it's just going to be easier. It's just harder for a team to like really clearly take that away. If that's kind of how you're coming in with it. So I think they're both good angles for sure. Connor's always looking to shoot angles, and that's what I just don't like about him.
That's why he's not getting paid out or allowed to withdraw his money anymore.
It's the angle shooter, always trying to shoot angles. I don't know.
I got this one rigged up too. I'll keep working on this one. But Bowers, I took yours, Noonan. I went Bowers higher than 74.5 receiving yards. White and Pickens, keep them on there. The Lockett over 2.5 receptions is like big minus. So you can actually just go Lockett higher than 4.5 targets at plus money.
That's great.
There's the move right there.
That's really good. Yeah.
Target plays.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah. I wish those were actual real markets. They're on domestics. That would be lovely.
Yeah. You can really only get them on Underdog, I think.
Yeah. They have a ton of markets. Shout out Underdog.
And they post early, which is awesome. So like, by tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if they already have stuff for like Sunday or next Thursday. It's like not even, it's not even Monday Night Football over.
I wonder if they do have, they probably don't have Thursday night stuff because all that Stroud stuff is unknown at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They don't have it yet.
Yeah. I remember last Monday, they had stuff for like other games during like the future week for Monday Night Football. So I thought that was pretty cool. It takes some cojones to float that stuff out there because, it's like the easiest time to win. So.
All right. They'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Smash like while you're here. Go to 4for4.com and get my cheat sheet, the Sharp Stack app, 4for4.com/Mayo. Code Mayo50 in order to get that free week. You guys, what do you got going on? You got a show later on today?
Show later today. Yeah. Move the line wherever you listen to podcasts, 4for4 live on the YouTube channels. 3 p.m. Eastern. Connor and I will do a little bit more recap of the week and then early look ahead lines for week 12. We'll talk a little bit more about futures as well. And then same podcast channel, same YouTube channel for props on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern as well.
I think John's DFS show is up there as well. And I assume you're going to start your litigation against the sportsbook, Connor?
Yeah, I've contacted my attorneys. I got a defamation lawsuit this morning from Caesars as well, in the inbox. So we'll see how that goes. Wish me the best of luck.
All right. Good luck with you on that front. You can follow them over on X and check out all their work at both Betsperts and 4for4.com. I have a golf show coming out in about 1 hour's time with Keith Stewart using the rabbit hole over at Betsperts Golf. If you're looking for some golf bets for the final event of the year, maybe parlay them all together. See if we can hit a big one. All right. Thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.